So here we are in this video. We're going to draw this really pretty owl. He's so lovely. He's a barn owl. Got very lovely markings. We're going to do him in with a pencil. You can see the markings, and you immediately start to see. You're going to learn today to kind of break these things down a little bit and how to create these little guidelines. And you can see that you could use a guideline of straight lines, circles, and kind of start to be able to see this and draw it a little better. But so first of all, we're going to learn the easy way to draw these guidelines. So let me just give you a little practice here. So if we're going to draw a straight line, you want to move the paper to one side so that it actually matches the natural sweep of your arm. So that was be right or left. I'm right-handed. So you see that it's very easy to draw straight lines if I move the paper. And then I don't have to do anything with my arm. I just a natural sweep. Now I can turn it around and make a little crisscross here, little grid. And now I'm going to show you just very briefly easy way to draw circles. So we want to be able to draw a circle. Now if we try and do it with our writing thing, that we want to move the pencil up halfway down, like really, no matter how you hold your pencil, doesn't matter, just move it halfway up the pencil or a third. And you don't have to be, you don't have to put your hand at all on the paper. You just rotate your shoulder blade. You can even put your hand on your shoulder blade just to kind of make sure, but your shoulder blade, see, I'm putting my hand on my shoulder blade, makes it so easy. So this, you can do a little bit of practice with this after you've seen this. So straight lines and circles, that's what you're going to need in this lesson and throughout for these different guidelines that we draw. And guidelines help you to see, and it helps you to make a good copy of what you'll want to draw. So you can see on here now these guidelines actually drawn on, and you can even draw them on your pen. You take several copies of your animal and draw and see. You can analyze it, say, oh, I get it, there's some circles. Takes a little bit, but you can see there's circles. There's a straight line that goes all the way down through his nose or through his beak, and each side and he's got a little heart shape, doesn't he? His face is like a little heart shape, and then a little V shape that comes down from each eye, and you can see his little beak there. And then this nice sort of sweeping curve that goes all around for his body. And so you can do these curves, and by doing these little guidelines you can start to see things more easily. Okay, so these guidelines are super useful. Okay, so and you can sort of draw them on your drawing, take a couple of pictures, just analyze your drawing to see, oh, I'm sure if I put a straight line down somewhere, I'm going to help it. I'm sure if I draw these, I'm going to be able to see things so much more easier, isn't it? So here's what your guidelines might look like. Of course, these are very dark, but that's how it might look when you're finished. And these are just all the guidelines drawn in. So that's what we're going to do right off the bat. Okay, so we'll just draw in each of these guidelines around for his wonderful eyes and nose. And here we go. So turn your paper to the side, and I'll draw a straight line. I'm going to put my little bird this side, on the right hand side of this drawing paper, and there's my little, see, very, very light. And when you hold your pencil halfway down, it'll just also enable you to draw lightly. So now I'm going to put a couple of little circles here, very lightly, and they actually overlap slightly. There's a slight overlap, and you can draw a line so you make sure you've got a sort of straight and then line up, and you take your time on this. There's no rush. This is really important to get it right. I'm taking my time. And then the eyes are just slightly below the center line. It's slightly below. They're not totally in the middle of the circle. And then down from there's little widow's peak, you know, look at that. And here we go now. There's eyes, and there's a little kind of V that comes down from his eyes, and that's where we see his beak, slight extending past the little circle line there. And now we can actually erase the parts we don't need. So I am using what's called a kneaded eraser. You can buy these. They come, you know, with any, you can buy them anywhere in, you know, Michael's or any decent art shop. And they usually come as part of a kit when you buy a kit. And you need it. You kind of, it's malleable. It's like a piece of putty. And it's really, really good for picking up and removing graphite from the page. Very, very, very good for graphite. The other type of eraser tends to kind of, I don't know, it's not that great on graphite. This is the best one to use. So now I'm going to sort of straighten out his head, comes a little bit further down. Do you see his whole face here? And now we're starting to see this little kind of flattened out heart shape that we'll use for his face, okay? And then, so with that done, make the eyes maybe a little bit bigger. We're not going to finish anything yet. This is just the guideline section. So now, again, very carefully, go all the way around, and we're going to make sure that we've got this body. So it goes all the way down and extends his wing. You can see the wing on the right-hand side past his little tummy. And you've got that just very graceful. So it goes about, if you take it from the top of his head to the bottom of his nose or his beak, then you can mark it down twice. It'll be about the right proportions. So like from the top of its head to his beak, and then go down one, down twice, and you've got about the size that you want to make this. You know, I think I've got my, you know, I don't have my, it's not perfect. I should have gone out a little bit, but still, it's in the right proportion, and that's important. And then I'm also can see where this front wing, the left-hand wing coming also, and now see it's nice, sort of, comes a kind of straight, it goes out, and then it comes, there we go. Now you'll see a bit later on that I actually adjust this a bit, but you're just sort of estimating it, and you'll find that this is really a really great way to do your drawings, because you'll find that your eye will deceive you if you try to just look at the photo. And now I'm starting to move in, and he's got some rather large and beautiful feathers. And this is kind of like, you know, his shoulder feathers, you know, so reminds me of, you know, we always used to have these big shoulders, you know, shoulder padding. So he's got these real beautiful big shoulder feathers, and then it got the longer feathers that kind of come out and, you know, stretch out to create his wings, because, you know, he can fly. So, and this is all the different feathers that are, and this is just the lines that you can see in the feathers. And so I'm just putting in a few lines to help me, just basically looking and going, you know, where are these things? Oh yeah, so here I go now. I need to put in his little talons, but it's easy to see where the talons come if you draw the straight line on your photo and see where they come. Like what does everything line up to? And then you'll kind of get things sort of right. Do you know what I mean? Even if it's not perfect. And there's the sort of the side of the piece of wood he's standing on or sitting on. And now I'm going to correct his left wing a little bit, because I noticed, I don't know, I don't have it quite right. He's got a bit of he's a bit longer, you know, so I'm going to make this wing a bit wider and longer. I think I'll make it even longer by the time I've ended the drawing. But you can make these corrections. Now, This is where you spend the majority of your time on your drawing, is putting in these lines, is getting everything right, okay? And when you get it right, then you can go, okay, now you can erase all your little guideline there. Take it out. You don't want to see it anymore. Bye-bye. And that's why you draw lightly, because you don't want it to be, you don't want it. So now you've got an outline. Now you can start to go about doing everything else to your bird, okay? So we're going to do, first of all, we're going to put up, yeah, okay, I'm just checking on, yeah, you can just check your coordinates, make sure you got it right. Yeah, so this is where I go, no, I still need it longer. It needs to be longer for that, beautiful, yeah. Now it's getting better, see? Much better. There we go. Okay, so once you've got this all correct, you're going to go to the final stage, which is the fun stage, and that's putting in all your shading and your lines. But now you've got a good start. So now we want to shade. So I want to get as much, I'm just sharpening. So I've got my pencil. Do you see how I'm holding it? And now I'm going to very gradually, just very lightly, put a very light shading over everything, every part of this, except for the face. And I've got it on the side. I've got it on the side, and I'm just very light sort of shading and shadow. And I'm just going to go, okay, I'm just going to put everything in shadow except for that white face. And it's just all going to get a bit of shadow there. And that's very, then once you got the shadow, you can sort of take out all of the lines around the edge. You can take them out. You don't need those lines at the edge. You just need the shadow. So it's now just a shape, isn't it? Just a form. So you don't need those edges anymore. You just erase them. And now you see I'm putting a little bit of shading under his nose, under his face, and by his eyebrows there. And now I'm going to start putting the shading behind his body with this, this right wing here. And then I can sort of start to see his little tummy appear here. And there we go. I'm going to make that a little bit dark to kind of make it very clear that this is going behind. All right, so there we go. So we've got, and you can make it even darker than you might even see it in a photograph. And then we'll start to put in what we want to put in for the wood, but we won't finish it. But we're just going to, see his little talons there, his feet a little bit here. And now we're going to get going on his side, just a little bit of his beard in here. Kind of like, and just the eyes, make them a little bit bigger maybe, so just, you can just be really, 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 just, this is where you kind of look at it and go, I want to do it this way. I want the eyes going up a little bit, so you put all of your little details. Now, I'm now using what's called a tortillon. Tortillon it's a piece of paper rolled into a ring, and you can get them in any art store. They're very inexpensive. We use them to burnish or to blend in the graphite. So again, I've got it on its side, and I'm sort of blending in just the existing graphite I've got. I'm sort of blending in these top thing, and I'm blending in a little bit around his tummy here. So everything's got a bit of a blend. And you can see that when you do it, it makes it a little bit darker. So now you can come with your eraser and remove anything you don't really, if it's going too dark, too light. And you just, now I'm going to put some little dots in his, because he's got some really pretty, see this little white part there, and now I can see little dots in this top, they're really very pretty. This little top, his little shoulder guys there. Okay, they're really quite pretty. There we go. So now we're going to go to a different part after we've finished his shoulder pads here. And what are we going to do next? Well, we're going to do, if you draw like this is called hatching, and they all go in the same direction. But if you wanted to give the impression of a feather, you'd go down one side and down the other. So there you've got feathers. So if we use this hatching technique, we can give his feathers down the side a sort of a look of feathers. You know, even though we can't really see in detail on the photo, we can see the darknesses, but we can use these little hatching lines in different directions to give the impression or the sense. Do one down, you know, different ways. Okay, and they're going in different, see? There we go. And then I'm just using this hatching technique. And what this hatching technique does is it really makes us feel like it is a feather. It gives us sort of a feather feeling to it. Just little tiny lines going in different directions for these for his beautiful wings that have, like, some of them light, some of them are dark. And so you can just observe, some of it's lighter, some of it's darker. You know, you don't have to get perfect here, but you can observe that this is getting a little darker, and then a little darker towards the back, because this is around the side of his, on the left side, this is all in shadow, isn't it? Okay, so now we're going up for his other wings here, this other set of feathers, and we'll put those in, and we'll use the same technique for that. It's going different ways, you know, and you can take your time with this. I'm just doing this, I'm speeded it up so you can, you know, you can see basically what I'm doing, you know, but, you know, you don't have to, you can do this on your own. And you can take your time on it, you know, but it's all depends on getting everything right. Now I'm just going down the side of his left wing, making it feel a bit like a wing, and then erasing, you know, like lifting it out so we can see, you know, I think I've got the top of his head a little bit high. That's very easy. Yeah, look at him. There he starts to coming. He's coming into being here. I'm making his eyes now big. They're kind of like almonds, round, and then just a tiny, not, you know, you don't see, not a lot of darkness on his beak, just a little bit, and then this little kind of beard. And now I'm going to use a few little hatching marks to sort of give the impression of these soft feathers for his tummy. And now I've got on the side, I'm going to put really dark, see I've held it right towards the end, and now I've got this darkness for the wood that he's standing on. We want to make that nice and dark. Okay, so now I'm cleaning it up, and then, you know, you can sort of, you don't have to, you know, do the wood, or I'm just kind of taking my turtle on and sort of just, yeah, see, just cleaning everything up, moving it around a little bit, you know, and you can take your time on this. I mean, I could go in and make some more corrections on this, but want to make it fairly quick for you, and there you go. There it is. So use this QR code to access our website, thejoyofdrawing.org. Find out more about us and all the different things that we offer, our calendar, etc. And then you can also just, you know, do all of the other videos. There's different videos that we have, all based on our book. You can order our book from Amazon, which has all the exercises that I've been telling you about in this exercise. And that's pretty much what we have for you. Thank you so much for joining us.